Why are there 2 toothbrushes in your gym bag? That's the exact question I asked. Not an accusation, not a sobbing confrontation, just a simple, unplanned question that slipped out at 6:18 a.m. while she stood at the counter blending her morning smoothie like the world was perfectly balanced on its axis. She blinked, tilted her head slightly as if she hadn't heard me correctly. Then she chuckled, actually laughed. That's when I knew. Not because of the gym bag itself, not because of the unread texts or the receipts I hadn't yet uncovered, but because of that laugh. Short, sharp, guilty. I hadn't slept all night. A strange, electric hum had been vibrating in my ribs since she came home late and went straight to the shower without a word. Like an idiot desperate for one final confirmation, I'd peeked into her gym bag, and there they were, 2 toothbrushes nestled side by side in a zippered case. I hadn't planned to say anything, but the words tumbled out anyway, tangled with morning breath and regret. She stood frozen, a handful of blueberries suspended mid-air like they might somehow rescue her. "I was going to tell you," she said. "Tell me what?" "That I'm seeing someone. But it's not like you think." "Oh, okay. Cool. Casual infidelity. No big deal." Then she dropped the sentence that shattered something deep inside me. "He doesn't want to take me away. He wants to share." My hands went ice cold, like they belonged to someone else. All I could manage was, "This is your last chance to leave." She looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Then, I guess I'm staying." Just like that. As casually as deciding what to order for dinner, not as if she were standing in the ruins of our marriage. My brain short-circuited, but my mouth, always faster than my courage, mumbled something about needing air. I grabbed my keys and walked out, no jacket, no wallet, just my body moving on autopilot toward escape. I drove until the tank ran dry. Literally pulled into a gravel lot behind an abandoned hardware store and sat there, listening to my heartbeat pound so loudly it echoed in my skull. She wanted to stay, but not for me. That much was clear. She was choosing comfort. Stability. A man who files taxes on time and loads the dishwasher without being asked. Meanwhile, she had her secret little world with Griff, a name that sounded like it belonged to someone who posted gym selfies and quoted Rumi in his Instagram bio. When I finally made it home after paying for gas with loose change and crumpled bills from my glove compartment, she was curled up on the couch, scrolling through her phone like nothing had shifted in the universe. "You didn't come back to talk," she said. "You came back to feel sorry for yourself." I wish I could say I stood tall and delivered some cutting, brilliant retort. But I didn't. I just sat across from her, knees trembling, and asked the worst question a man can ever ask. "Do you love him?" She hesitated just long enough to say everything before she even spoke. "I don't know what love means right now," she replied. That sentence cut deeper than any confession. She wasn't apologizing. She wasn't crying. She was calmly negotiating the rules of a game I never agreed to play. Then she handed me her phone. "Go ahead," she said. "Read it all." I shouldn't have looked, but I did. What I found wasn't vulgar or explicit. It was worse. It was tenderness. Inside jokes. Voice notes that sounded exactly like the ones we used to exchange a decade ago, back when we still believed in each other. That night, I slept in the guest room. She didn't come after me. She just closed the door to her bedroom and left it shut. I thought telling her to leave would make her go. Turns out, she was already gone. She just hadn't packed her bags yet. The next morning, she was fully dressed before I even opened my eyes, not in her usual cardigan and scarf uniform, but in heels, makeup, and a dress I hadn't seen in months. A dress she once claimed didn't fit anymore. I heard the soft zip of her clutch in the hallway, followed by the sharp, unfamiliar scent of a Id is a smooth-talking, conscience-free predator, and now he was sending me warning signs as if we were reluctant teammates in a game neither of us signed up for. I didn't respond. Couldn't. What was I supposed to say? Asterisk. Thanks for the heads up. Other man sleeping with my wife? Asterisk. For the next 2 hours, I paced, phone in hand, spiraling. If she wasn't with him, where was she? Why lie about the gallery? And why was Griff suddenly getting nervous now? At noon, I called her. No answer. At 1 p.m., straight to voicemail. By 2 p.m., I was driving nowhere, in particular, just moving. I went to the gallery first, closed for renovations, then to her sister's, no sign of her. I even called her mother, something I hadn't done since the Thanksgiving disaster of 2018. No one had seen her. It was like she'd vanished. Then, at 4:47 p.m., she walked through the front door like it was just another Tuesday shopping bag in hand, hair freshly styled, sunglasses still on. "You okay?" she asked. No apology, no explanation. Just that. I couldn't answer, couldn't even look at her. Instead, I asked the question that had been clawing at my brain since Griff's message. "Did you tell him I was pathetic?" Her face didn't move. Not a flicker. Then she sighed, set her bag down, and said, "Is that what this is about now?" That's when I realized something terrifying. She wasn't just drifting away from me. She was erasing me. She didn't apologize, didn't flinch. Instead, she sat on the edge of the couch, crossed her legs like we were about to have a polite debate, and said, "You've been spiraling since the moment I told you the truth. Maybe that's the real issue. Asterisk. The truth? Asterisk. That wasn't truth. That was a confession wrapped in conditions, loopholes, and emotional gymnastics designed to turn her betrayal into my dysfunction." I told her Griff had messaged me. Her eyes narrowed not with surprise, but irritation. "What did he say?" she asked flatly, as if she already knew. I read the text aloud. She stared at me for a long moment. Then, to my utter shock, she laughed, a quiet, sharp laugh. The kind you hear at a dinner party when someone accidentally insults the host. "Of course he did," she said. "He's just mad I didn't choose him." "You didn't choose anyone," I said. "You just lied to both of us and disappeared." Her response was so calm it chilled me. I needed space. You and Griff were both suffocating me in different ways. That's when it hit me. She didn't see this as betrayal. To her, it was evolution, a natural shedding of outdated obligations. She wasn't cheating, she was exploring. And if I couldn't keep up, that was my problem. I asked if she was done with Griff. Her answer? "I don't know yet. Maybe. Maybe not. No closure, no commitment. Just a woman dangling our marriage on a string, watching how long I'd keep reaching for it." "You think this is a phase?" I asked. She shrugged. "Maybe. Or maybe you're the phase." That one cut deeper than I expected, like she'd taken a scalpel to my identity and peeled it away in one sentence. That night, I didn't sleep not because I missed her, but because I finally saw it clearly. She had rewritten our entire story, and in her version, I was just a detour, a placeholder, the safe guy you keep around until your real life begins. And the worst part? I still wanted her to stay. The next evening, just when I thought things couldn't get more twisted, she asked me to dinner. Not a let's talk dinner, not an I'm sorry dinner, a real reservation. At a new bistro she'd heard about from a coworker, as if none of this had ever happened. "I think we should try," she said, smoothing her blouse in the hallway mirror. "Not everything has to end in fire." I said yes, not because I believed her, but because I wanted to see what she looked like when she pretended nothing was broken. The restaurant was small, candlelit. with waiters who spoke in hushed tones and menus that didn't list prices. She ordered wine. I ordered water. She talked about her work as if it hadn't been 3 days since I discovered she was sleeping with a man who claimed to love us both. I nodded, watched the way she smiled at the waiter, the same smile she used to give me. Halfway through the meal, she said, "Griff messaged me too." I clenched my fork. "He said you were falling apart, that you'd gone through my laptop, that you were painting him as some manipulator." I didn't answer. Then she leaned in, voice dropping low. "He also asked if we'd be open to something unconventional, said he wanted to meet." I laughed, couldn't help it, not a happy laugh. More like the sound someone makes when they finally grasp the full depth of the betrayal. "So now you're inviting him to dinner too." She didn't laugh back. Instead, she reached into her purse, tapped her phone, and turned the screen toward me. "A message from Griff is greater than asterisk. He deserves to hear it from both of us." Asterisk. That's when it clicked. This dinner wasn't a peace offering. It was a setup. Somehow, I'd become the guest of honor at my own public humiliation. And as the waiter approached with the dessert menu, I saw the shadow behind her, tall, confident, walking toward our table like he owned it. She smiled, and I finally understood. This wasn't about love. It was about control. He sat down across from me like it was his table, no hesitation, no shame. My wife, or the woman who used to be, smiled at both of us like she was proud of her performance. For a second, I felt weightless, not in a good way, more like I'd slipped out of my own life and landed in someone else's scripted nightmare. Griff folded his hands. "We just want to talk, man. No drama." That word times almost made me laugh again. I looked at them, the perfect pair, smirking, ready to pitch some evolved vision of love without boundaries. A future where I stayed quiet and grateful just to have a seat at the table. And in that moment, I realized something so obvious, it stunned me. I didn't need to be there. Not physically, not emotionally, not anymore. So I stood up calmly. No grand speech, no accusations. I just said, "You've made your choice. Now I'm making mine." She blinked. Griff raised an eyebrow. Neither moved. Maybe they thought I'd come back. Maybe they thought I had nowhere else to go. But I did. That night, I packed a single bag, left the house keys on the counter. No letter, no guilt. Just silence, the kind that isn't heavy anymore, but finally light. I moved into a short-term rental near a park I used to walk before life got too noisy. I bought myself a real journal, not digital. And every morning I write one sentence. Asterisk. I matter, even if I'm not chosen. Asterisk. She texted a few times. Nothing cruel, just breadcrumbs. I didn't follow them. Griff never reached out again. And me? I started laughing again. Not the broken, hollow laugh I used to mask pain, but real laughter. The kind that bubbles up when you finally remember who you were before someone else started writing your story for you. So no, I didn't win her back, but I won myself. What would you have done if you were in his shoes? Would you have stayed at the table or walked away? Comment your thoughts below. We read every single one.